What are esports? Esports are simply electronic sports that are played on a console or computer at a professional level. What I often see is that people are quick to judge esports without really knowing what it is about. I'm going to talk about misconceptions, passion, and growth in business to try and change your perspective from something negative to positive. Or, if that doesn't work, at least give you an insight into what esports is all about. You're not ready to judge something if you don't know what it is about. Now, let's talk about common misconceptions that esports has. Esports have 5 common misconceptions. Esports are not sports. Games are solely played by a single player. Esports are for kids. Esports are merely games. And lastly, a lot of people think esports is something boring to watch. I will tackle 3 common misconceptions and discuss why they are indeed common misconceptions and why people should think differently about esports. To tackle misconception number 1, which is esports are not sports, I will have to discuss the definition of a traditional sports with you. Now, by traditional sport, I mean sports such as football or rugby. Commonly, a sport is something that requires physical input and is played in a team. However, we consider things such as horse riding or chess sports too. Note, I'm not saying these things shouldn't be considered sports, but they do not require the amount of physical activity that a football or a rugby game would require. However, any form of sport has always valued mental strength, strategy, and talent. You require this in order to be a football player, a rugby player, and an esport athlete. If you are a football player who's mentally strong and can thrive in critical situations, you can help secure your team a championship. The same thing goes for an esport player. An esport player also needs to have extremely fast reaction times. They match up evenly with the likes of Serena Williams, who has less than half a second to react to a serve, according to BBC. When it comes to fitness, a lot of people would consider an esport athlete who, like me, is sitting in a room alone to be lacking fitness, and that's fair. However, considering that they are very strong mentally, and a lot of people consider a strong body to equal a strong mind, most players take the time to ensure they go to the gym or play any other sports. According to BBC, when it comes to strategy, esports is certainly equal to traditional sports. Esports such as StarCraft, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive match up evenly and rely on complex strategies. Every top team has multiple strategies for each individual situation or map. Without these complex strategies, they wouldn't be able to perform as a top team. Secondly, a lot of people do not know that esports are team games. There's never a single individual responsible for winning. It's a team effort, just like many other sports. The players are always a core of 5 players, with coaches and management staff to help them out, just like you'd see in football or rugby. In addition to that, there are also substitutes to help replace a player in case any issues arise. Esports athletes travel across the world to live with their team. They need to be able to practice together, but more importantly, they need to be able to play well together. This requires good and effective communication between the players. And of course, there are some games played by an individual. However, they will always also have a coach to help them with preparation for a game and during the game itself. Now, people consider esports and video games in general to be for kids, and they are, but they're not for kids if you want to play it at a professional level. Just like traditional sports, you need to be grown up and mature to play them at a professional level. The same goes for playing esports professionally. Athletes peak in their mid-20s. They need incredible reaction time. Decision making needs to be incredible too, and they can't crack under pressure. In addition to that, strategies used in esports can be very complex, and their game sense needs to be developed. A kid cannot cope with these things, as it is beyond their skill capacity. It's important to mention esports are very fast-paced games, and the kids cannot and a kid cannot keep up with this at a professional level. Finally, they do not have the social skills, such as living away from their family, traveling a lot, or working in a team environment, to play the game professionally. In order to be professional, you need to have certain attributes, as we discussed, and a kid does not have these. Now, for part 2, it's time to talk about passion surrounding esports. I'm going to show you two video clips. They are the exact same video clips, but one has sound and the other one doesn't. You should be able to figure out what I'm trying to tell you.
In mid, don't see that every day. Two players now for Fnatic just holding up again. They're waiting for the peaks, but this time Liquid do need information, and Hiko's starting to search for it, and Dennis is holding the angle. Who's going to be the recipient? It is going to be Hiko. That's a big frag, but Simple is creeping. They see him with the AWP now, and the desperate play into B comes in. Smokes. You see double smokes in the same place there. Simple just jumping casually into the side. He's going to fall down again. What is this clutch from Simple? Are you serious? What is that? You can't do that, Simple. That's not allowed.
He's an assassin, this guy is absolutely unbelievable. He's the X Factor for Team Liquid. There is no question.
I have no words. I have no words.
Fnatic did everything they could. Everything they could in that round. It looked like it was completely a shut book. Dennis found a way to open the book back up. But Simple, I don't know, man. If he just comes in with that, there's nothing.
It was a no-scope. He didn't even. We had one button on his mouse stand. He had one button.
If it's not clear to you what I was trying to tell you, it is that if you look at clip 1 is extremely boring to watch. I find it boring, people find it boring. But if you look at the second part, with the fans cheering in the background, with the commentators giving you every bit of action, it just adds so much. It's more than just a game. Open your eyes. It's not just people sitting behind their computer. There's passion everywhere, with fans, with casters, with players. I mean, if you paid close attention, you could even see the player reactions in the camera in the top right. This means everything to them. This means everything to the fans. And people don't see this. People just see, oh, a gamer behind their computer. Open your eyes. It's not just a gamer sitting behind the computer. There's a legion of fans behind them. Now, adding on to that, there's another video I want to show you surrounding esports and passion. Look carefully for yourself and see that it's more than just people sitting behind their computer playing video games.
Mentally to play that game, we was hard mentally to play that game.
Come on, guys, it was a great match. You have to cheer for both teams in great matches like that. Talk me through, what was it like to play?
It was hard mentally to play that game, but we...
Guys, please respect for the finalists, second finalists, please respect them.
Amazing words from Taz, amazing words. That's what makes this sport great. Talk me through, it was hard mentally.
Now, to give some context on that particular video, a team had just made it to a final of a major tournament. A player of the winning team was being interviewed on stage whilst getting booed by fans from the losing team. A player from the losing team then grabs the microphone and tells them to respect each other. Now, people don't see the side of esports when judging it. They see a player behind their computer and they want to trash them. Esports players aren't arrogant like you see in football. There's a real sense of community, a sense of friendship. They respect each other. And this sportsmanship brings esports closer together and shows the beauty that esports has. People are not aware of this, and I want them to be. Now, let's talk about growth and business in the esports industry. Esports have grown rapidly ever since coming to life in 2014. In just under 2 years, so between 2014 and 2016, the global audience for esports has increased by 25%. What started off with 204 million viewers worldwide in 2014, as you can see here in this particular diagram, provided by Newzoo, has now increased to 256 million viewers worldwide. And it doesn't stop there. It's expected to increase to 345 million viewers worldwide by 2019. The viewer increase shows that esports is a real thing, and it needs to be taken seriously by people. It cannot be neglected anymore. And it's not just a video game, or video games, it's so much more than that. When we take a look at the revenue produced by esports, we first need to set the context for what revenue is. For esports, the revenue is defined by the total income produced by media rights, ticket sales, advertising, brand partnerships, and investments by the game producers, such as sponsoring prize pools for their official tournaments. Now, if you take a look at this diagram showing revenue growth between the same period as the last diagram, so 2014 and 2016, there's a total increase of revenue by 139%. This increase is from $194 million to $463 million. This increase once again shows the growth in esports. However, this revenue isn't only driven by an ever increasing fan base, but also by people willing to invest money into esports. As you learned earlier, there are a lot of major organizations that either have players actively playing for them or they organize major events. Recently, a group of Danish Counter-Strike global offensive players formed their own organization, backed by investors. These Stratus players, which is their brand now, make $10,000 a month, plenty to make a living. In addition to that, they also get prize money from events they participate in. However, a League of Legends player can make a 6-figure, maybe even a 7-figure sum each year if they're good enough. Major brands such as Monster, Red Bull, and Intel all pay big money to have their names out there. According to NZXT, a manufacturer of computer parts, esports is valued at $900 million. 74% of that numbers, so $660 million, is advertisement and sponsorships. Companies are paying big time to have their brand out there. Once more, it's so much more than video games. But people looked up past this, troubled by misconceptions. As much as it's gaming, it's also a business with a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs. A perfect example of this is an investment made by Turner Broadcasting System, also known as TBS. This is a large TV channel in America that hosted a LAN, or Local Area Network, tournament for CSGO in Atlanta. Once a week, a match will be live on television to gain new supporters, new fans, or new views. Over the course of 10 weeks, E-League nearly reached 19 million total viewers live on TBS, with 3.4 million viewers new to TBS. This goes to show that esports is ready for expansion, and it has expanded unprecedentedly over the past 2 years, not only in total viewerships, but also in revenue. And it doesn't stop there. Other than a massive viewer increase by 2019, it's also expected that the global revenue for esports will reach $1 billion. Esports is ready to compete with traditional sports. In fact, it's already bigger than some traditional sports, such as basketball. In 2014, the League of Legends Championships got 27 million viewers worldwide. 27 million. Now, the NBA Finals, in the same year, only managed to get 60 million viewers.
Esports isn't something negative. In fact, it has many positive attributes to it. People need to realize why they're wrong when judging esports without any knowledge. They don't know what it is all about. It's not about someone sitting by the computer playing video games. It's a lot more than that, as we saw in Passion, with fans cheering on their favorite team coming from all over the world into one arena. Commentators bringing you every bit of live action so it's more enjoyable to watch, and the sportsmanship and mutual respect that players have for each other. It just adds so much more. It's one big community. The esports generation is here, and it has grown massively over the last couple of years. But it's important to stress that there's so much more to come, and it has only just begun.
Again, we've got Taco just holding a short angle, so it's still Liquid's round to impose.
on Luminosity. The team now going back to Old Faithful, and Cold might be in trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him. He's got to hit these shots. We saw Fall in this spot before, the same spot, but with much more utility to work with. Here he comes once again. The first base is Adren. He's going to hit the ground there as Cold. Oh, what?